Yeah, hello, is this HQ? Yeah, can you roll that playback? Thanks.
Anyway, he spits it out. She says yes. Honestly, they deserve each other. And I'm for sure going to spin the block on this clip when it doesn't work out. And if y'all think I'm not saving this photo of this smug look on her face when she tells him she made the right decision, I'm telling you right now, Katisha and Javin are going to crash and burn so hard, all you're going to hear from me is, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save 50 pounds per person. That's 200 pounds off for a family of 4.
All right, welcome to Tate's Take. If you're new here, today we're talking about episodes 5 through 8 of Love is Blind UK Season 2. But I'm going to be talking about them like you've seen them too. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, listen, can someone just call the club and ask them, do the photo booth got a curtain or nah? Boom! Episode 5. This one's called I Don't Want to Be a Villain. This is where we get into those little date excursions. Couple highlights here from those days. This is a quick episode, so we just gonna fly right through it. Billy and Ashley have a nice date. Look, if she's not at her cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, these two gonna be grooving. Meg and Kieran have a nice date. This is where we spin back up the fact that Megan's mom was always treated horribly in relationships. So Meg is desperately trying to avoid that. On the other hand, Kieran is still waiting to hear Meg say, I love you. But besides all that, they are indeed still grooving. Cal and Sorover, he's back talking about his British white girl fetish. But he's finally cleaning it up. He's like, you love who you love. It don't matter if they're black or white. Well, he says something like that. The point is, they're still grooving. Over to Javin and Katisha. She's telling him how Cal pushed up on her for Euro stepping Demola. She's trying to explain like, yeah, I guess he was just confused. Javin couldn't care less about this conversation, but as far as she's concerned, they're grooving along. Last but not least, Jed and Barda have a nice little date where they're driving those four-wheelers, and this is where they unpack. You know, Barda's like, hey, how'd you like me driving earlier? He's like, is that how you are in all your relationships? Taking the wheel, wearing the trousers? She's like, yes, that's how it's always been. I'm a very independent woman. I do what I want, and I usually been making all the decisions. So you gonna be cool with that? Well, Jed's like, listen, I'm used to being the provider, but I guess I could try this shit out. And with Jed thinking his masculinity is in jeopardy, they're still grooving along. Low key, if you guys are counting at home, that's 5 out of 5 grooves. So let's see how long we can keep that up. All right, then we're going to the wine mixer. This is where, quickly, this is not even important, but this is where Katisha's like, I'm so glad you're here. And Javin's like, I'm sorry, who are you? I'm just kidding. He was like, I'm glad you're here. Ugh, gross. We are slowly but surely losing the groove. But this is when Matt and Emma pull up and they're like, oi, how's everyone's connections? Physically, they tell them, listen, we about to send y'all back into the real world. We done hooked y'all up with some fly, brand new apartment. Shit is dope. Y'all also gonna be getting y'all phones back, which I know is critical for Javin because his whole roster probably worried about where he's at. Because they just want to check in. Sorry, this is not important, but Billy and Ashley are going for a worst dressed. Okay, before we go back, Matt and Emma ask Javin and Katisha, like, hey, how's it been going? Javin's like, look, I definitely want to get married. Just not to her. Okay. He didn't exactly say that out loud. He's like, look, I know that if we don't end up getting married, this is not the end of our journey. Whoa. And Katisha's like, yeah, I'm comfortable. We're both actually comfortable. You know, if it's not the right time, it's not the right time. The whole crew's looking around like, are these niggas serious? Okay, in this same wine mixer, we get some time where the guys are hanging and the girls are hanging. When the guys are hanging, they're talking about who said the L word, who didn't say the L word. Now, we all know that Kieran is waiting on Meg to say it. We know that Kieran already done said that thing. Way to get ahead of it, King. They asked Javen. Javen's like, oh, no, we both haven't said it. Because we also hate each other, so that's probably what's getting in the way of that. Then, of course, my boy Cal got to jump in. What do you think about Demola? Have you ever taken a second to think about that? He's like, whoa, what do you mean? He's like, well, look, if she was able to pull the rope from Demola, don't you think she could pull the rope from you at the altar? Javen's like, you're right. Now he wants to know what Katisha told Demola to give him so much confidence. On the women's side of this wine mixer, of course, Ashley gonna be in there looking for all the tea. She starts with Katisha. She already know that's where you're gonna get the best tea. So she's like, hey, so you still haven't told Javen you love him? Is it Demola? Katisha's like, bitch, no, I'm over that. But Katisha kind of getting tired of everybody pressing up on her about her connection with Javen. She starts to break down, but she in the right hands because Ashley pulled up with a warm-ass hug. I knew you needed this. I knew you needed that hug was so damn warm. I was like, please. Because I need one, actually. I've got a tissue. I've got a tissue. It's not important to report that in this video, but I found it excellent. Ashley's like, look, dry your tears. Just one quick question, just a quick cue. Are you ready to marry him? Katisha's like, yes. Why the fuck is everyone asking? It's like, well, we kind of think you guys hate each other. Katisha literally asked her, do you have doubts about us? I mean, we all do. So I thought she knew that. Katisha tells Ashley, look, I don't want to be a villain. Oh, that's the episode title. Listen, I already know what kind of neighbor Ashley is, and I don't even hate it. Ashley the type to know your whole schedule before you do. She'd be like, Chris, don't the kids got to swim today? And you know what? They sure do. Kids, go get ready. Playing around. You're going to be late. Thanks, Ashley. Okay, now the crew is packing up to leave Cyprus and head back to the UK. The only note I have from this whole thing is where Katisha is with Javen, and she's telling him, yeah, I was talking to Ashley, and she did make me cry. Apparently, a lot of the crew has doubts about our relationship, and Javen's like, it doesn't matter what they say. You're a grown woman, right? You make your own decisions, right? Katisha's like, yeah, nigga, thanks, I guess. Okay, now we got some scenes where the crews are moving into their apartments. And you thought I put away the tightometer? Jed, what is this, a 7.9? Also, if Meg and Kieran don't work out, I'm for sure canceling my Netflix. Because what the fuck was this cute-ass Instagram scene? Then Katisha and Javen are still talking about the crew. She's like, I just don't know why everyone keeps asking us about our connection. And Javen's like, if I may, I think I understand why they have questions. And it has to do with Demola. What did you tell that dude to give him so much confidence? Katisha's like, damn. Well, look, the last thing I told him was a little silly. Javen's like, go on. Katisha's like, I told him not to worry. I'm sorry, what'd you say? I told him not to worry. Javen's like, well, if someone told me not to worry, guess what I wouldn't do? Worry. Okay, we'll obviously get back to them, but right now, Billy is about to meet Ashley's dad, Gwen. All I know is that this dude was in a band. Okay, remember that Ashley's dad never met not one of her boyfriends. Here go Billy, her fiance. She tells her dad, hey dad, this is Billy, and he is my fiance. Ashley's dad's so confused, she just repeating everything she said. That's Billy? Yeah. You went on an experiment? Yeah. And fell in love? Yeah. And now he's your fiance? Yeah, pretty much. She's like, have you ever heard of Love is Blind? This dude's like, is that on the radio? Okay, then they fake cliffhanger us until episode 6. Boom! Episode 6. This one's called, wait, what's this one called? Boom! Episode 6. This one's called Good Guys Finish Last. And without knowing anything, you know it's Demola. Okay, this was a fake cliffhanger, of course. All Ashley's dad is concerned about is her happiness. He asks her, you're happy, right? She says yes. And that's all I can do. He thinks that Billy is a fine young man and that, you know, he gives his blessing to the both of them. Then freaking Ashley asks her dad, I just want to ask you one last thing. Will you walk me down the aisle? And honestly, fuck Ashley, fuck Gwen, fuck your whole bloodline for almost making me cry when y'all were crying.
Because when I sign up to review these shows, I don't sign up for the emotional toll that it takes. So just know that when I see you, it's on site. Because what? Okay, over to Kieran and Meg. And Meg for sure got that shit on. I think Meg reverse catfished me in the Meet the Cast video. But either way, we are here now. This is where they have that cute ass date where I don't know if Kieran cooked for her or whatever. But the important part here is that Megan finally said, I love you. Kieran is very happy with this. Also, you know how in between the scenes they be having all those cute little montages, freaking Meg up in the cabinets, Cal and Sorover massaging and all that kind of stuff. Have y'all realized that Katisha and Javin have zero cute moments? Like, have y'all noticed that? Anyway, we're still with Kieran and Meg because now she's going to get to see his apartment. And I don't have a lot of notes from this apartment, but he does have a clock that Americans can read. So that's a bonus. And she got to try out his gaming setup. The whole thing was just nice. And we're staying with Kieran and Meg because then Megan gets to meet his boring ass friends. Also, Kieran, how are you this hot and you don't got at least one hot friend? And I know we ain't here to be talking about people's appearances besides their tight ass jeans, but come on, bro. This dude's carrying a lot of weight when they go out. It's probably why he's still single, man. He's doing all the heavy lifting. What are you talking about? Anyway, these nerds are kind of boring, and they just can't get over the fact that they fell in love and are getting married so soon. I don't know if anyone in the UK has ever seen Love is Blind. That's what it boils down to. At least Ashley's old ass dad get an excuse. But where y'all think y'all boy was at for the last couple of weeks? Okay, we're going to take a break from Kieran and Meg. But just know that they are my favorite, and it's not close. We're going over to Barda and Jed. They're still talking about this independence piece. She's like, look, bro, a lot of the women in my culture are just expected to cook and clean. And I don't want a relationship like that. I don't need you. I'm here because I want you. And then we get another heavy moment because she's telling him how her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer and how she was in the clinic with her when she heard the news. And in Barda's own words, she said how her little face looked up at her and asked, what are they saying? Jesus Christ, what is going on this week? The point is, lucky for her mother, she is in remission, but it taught Barda to kind of value, hey, you only have this one life and you got to live it how you want to. And I hope that's a lesson for you all out there. Okay, next up we have Katisha and Javin date night. Yeah, it sucks. He's like, how do you feel? She's like, I feel good. She's like, how do you feel? He's like, well, I feel good. This is where they talk about clearing the air with Damola. She's like, should I just text this nigga right now? He's like, yeah, I guess. Katisha's like, I'm just kidding. But she did text him for a long ass. I gotta go to work. She did text him for a long ass time though. The point is, he wants her to meet up with Damola and just put this whole thing to bed. He's tired of talking about Damola. He said it's boring. She said it's boring. What the fuck else have y'all ever talked about? Okay, now we're with Sorover and Cal. She's about to meet his mom and his gran. So Cal sits down. He's like, look, ladies, we're engaged. His gran's like, huh? And nigga, you know you can't be doing that to old people like that. You gotta relax. Cal asks his grandma, like, how long you guys been married? She's like, 63 years. He's like, they've been married 64 years. Was I the only one that caught that? If you turn on the captions at that part, they just cut the whole thing out. They're like, we don't know what this nigga talking about either. Then his grand talks about how they got a letter from the queen for their 60th wedding anniversary, which honestly is a nice touch. Not gonna hold you, his grand is carrying this whole conversation. Usually it'd be the other way around. If it's like a mom and a grandma or a dad and a grandpa or whatever, it'd just be the grandpa or grandma just sitting back like, she's nice. She's pretty. Either way, that part goes swimmingly. Then his brother pulls up. He's like, nigga, are you serious? Okay. He didn't say that. The point is, Netflix asked his bro, like, hey, do you think this relationship is going to last? And he told Netflix, if I'm putting my life on the line, no, I don't think it's going to last. But that's only because I know my brother. He's strong-minded. He's independent. And when stuff stops working, he just moves on.
So it wasn't even really hate. Trying to keep it real. Okay, now Katisha and Damola are about to meet up. So get serious. But before we get serious, I had no idea her ears had this much hang time. She could probably hear this nigga walking up in Patrick's dirty ass Air Force Ones. This nigga Damola walking up like, damn, she bad. So whatever. She's trying to explain the whole situation to this dude. She's like, look, I know I said what I said to you, but my last date with Javin was a complete 360, and that tracks. He asked her, look, fuck all that. Could you have seen a future with me? She's like, yeah. That's what makes it so hard. But I wasn't quite where you were. The connection was just stronger with Javin. Jamala's like, yeah, you sound dumb, but is the experiment working? Are you happy? She's like, yeah, happy. Jamala's like, then if this works, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. She tells him, thank you. That means a lot to me, but don't stop being a lover boy. He's like, yeah, great advice. Look where the fuck that got me. And I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that he turned around for one last look, trying to see if she's thick. Okay, moving on from that. Now we are with Jed meeting Barda's parents. And this is a quick scene, and it's not a lot of notes from it. These people seem very nice. Her mom wants to know how many grandkids they bring up. She's like, you got 6 for me? I'm gonna need that 6. Barda's like, listen, lady, I'm gonna give you 2 of them things, you heard? But no, as you remember in the pods, Jed wanted to ask her family for their blessing before proposing. So he brings it up at the table. He's like, I've been trying to do this, but just hoping I can have your blessing in marrying your daughter. Wow, what a nice young man. Keep it up, Jed. Okay, the last scene of the episode is with Billy and Ashley at the grocery store. And who would have thought after Katisha and Damola have a meetup that this will be the spiciest scene of the whole episode? They're just showing us how boring Billy eats. And Ashley just wants to eat whatever the fuck she wants. That's why she's a real one. This dude talking about some rice, broccoli, and minced meat. Are you okay? We're free. Well, and Ashley's so real. This dude Billy goes on this long-ass fucking TED talk about why he eats clean and how he has to be a good example for the dudes in the army. She's like, yeah, thank you for sharing that, but do you see these cakes? Netflix needs the drama this bad. First cabin crew gate, now cake gate. You can tell the relationships are going so well where these people are fighting over caloric intake. I never even said that word before. Billy grabs a cake. He's like, are you fucking serious? I can't have that because I'm a snacker. If I see it, I'm going to eat it. Also, where's your self-control at, bruv? How is it her fault that you can't control snacking on the goddamn cake? Because they're fucking delicious. Boom! Episode 7. This one's called You're Gonna Get Me in Trouble. And I already love the sound of that title. Quick scene here of Billy watering his lunch. Then we're with Kieran and Meg at the Blackpool Tower Ballroom. He set up some fancy date there. These two get cuter by the minute. Okay, now we're back with Billy and Ashley post grocery shopping. She tells him, look, I felt a little overwhelmed in there, my boy. You were low-key tweaking. She's like, listen, I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I used to be very skinny. And I was bullied for it. So I found eating things that I liked, gaining a little weight, gave me some self-confidence. So how regimented and rigid you are around food just turns me all the way off because I've struggled with this most of my life. He tells her, look, a lot of my life is routine. A lot of my life is regimented, but I really don't think food is one of those things. Boy, the point is, he says he doesn't want her to feel guilty about having sweets. And he's going to try and prove to her that he can compromise. Okay, now we're back with Jed and Barda. Jed's about to meet her friend Olivia. And low-key, I think I already hate her. So, listen, I get it. You got to have the protective friends. And they're thinking they're being helpful. They don't want to see their friends get hurt. But, come on, man. You're meeting someone. You don't have to be all tough and, just relax. The girl pulls up, oh, how was your trip in? Jed's like, oh, how long did it take for you to get here? Oh, I feel like I'm being interviewed. I thought I was the one asking the questions. Girl, this is called small talk. Have you ever been on Earth before? Then freaking Jed's like, all right, cool, great. Olivia, welcome to our home. Should we do a cheers? She's like, no, not yet, bitch. And I don't hate to call the girl the B word, but y'all know what I'm talking about? I know y'all got friends like that, but just chill, bro. Freaking Olivia talking about, so is this lust or love? What do you think they gonna say to that? She's like, have you guys had any fights? They're like, no, we haven't fought about anything yet. Is that okay? She's like, well, no, it's not okay. Because I've seen you like this before, and it didn't work out. And I'm not watching it again. Listen, if you like it, I love it, but shut the fuck up. All right, now we got some more actual home tours. This is usually one of my favorite parts of the show. Katisha is at Javin's house. I'm looking around for shit to start. There's not a lot of stuff, but it's fine. He's like, how you like my black wall? She's like, yeah, it's nice. It's fine. A little cable management, my boy. I don't know. I guess in his bed, he doesn't have a comforter. Just uses some blanket he had since he was a kid. Whatever. I mean, that is strange, but if that's the worst thing we can find, we haven't done enough. But the bed is not important here. It's the conversation in the bed that is very important. Perhaps even a borderline, oh my golly wally moment. Katisha asked him, like, what are your thoughts about us moving in together? You know, really want to get our schedules aligned so we could, like, eat together. Javin's like, bitch. All right, let me say it serious. She says, I really want to get our schedules aligned so we can eat together. He's like, eat together? That's actually important to you? Katisha's like, nigga. Katisha's like, yes. Yes, it is. Javin starts to go on his rant talking about how he works late. Oh, he getting ahead of it so early. Oh, you work late? Okay, he's like, look, Monday to Thursday, you ain't going to see me from 6 to 9 anyway. So we definitely not eating together on those days. She's like, whoa. He's like, unless you don't mind eating late. She's like, oh, actually, that's pretty cool because I eat late a lot of the days anyway because when I come home, I train so then I could eat late. It's no problem. That sounds like a good compromise. He's like, how late? She's like, I don't know, 9 or 10. He's like, well, I'm in bed by 10 every night. Now she's there trying to do the math like me. Carry the one. This nigga's lying. And just like that, they suck again. Think about it. You propose to this woman. She's just asking you to eat together. You tell her, you ain't going to see me about 4 days out that week. And when I get back, I'm going to give you a 23-minute window to eat with me. You told that girl you're going to be going from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you're going to be in bed at 10. What are you talking about? Please tell me what you're talking about. The way Demola would rent out Buckingham Palace every day at 7 p.m. just to eat with this. Yes, obviously, I'm not dumb enough to think that you could rent out Buckingham Palace every day. You could probably rent it out probably just on like the weekends. We are staying with Katisha and Javin. Now she's about to meet his mom and his sister. Wagwan Rasta. Where they upon? Respect, shut up, respect. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, they're like, so what's been going on? Javin's like, well, I went on the show, met Katisha, and now she's my fiance. His sister's like, the fuck? Javin's mom's smart enough to know this nigga's never gonna get married, so she's just laughing, having the time of her life. His sister's like, nigga, I'm engaged, and we've been planning this for 18 months. You think we just have a wedding in 3 weeks? Freaking Javin's looking like, we ain't gonna have one. Whatever. They asked them, okay, so what makes you guys compatible? And somewhere out there, Demola's watching this like, yeah, please, let us know. Katisha's like, yeah, well, we connected on so many things in the pods. They're like, bitch, like what? They're like, because the first thing was, no, because it was at least, because we family values. We both value family. That was a huge connection. We done connected on that. Anyway, these people seem very nice, but again, in typical Katisha and Javin fashion, this is just a train wreck. Then Katisha gets some time one-on-one with his sister. She's like, bitch, like, just what is up with him? She's like, look, I know, girl, he's hard to read, but he is a good person. He's just been through a lot. I think he had like a fucking soccer injury. And look, it's not funny to be making fun of people if they went through a lot, but he ain't say he went through anything. She's like, it just takes time to bring out his vulnerable side. Katisha's looking at her like, thanks for nothing. This was not helpful. Okay, moving on, but we're keeping it in the family meetups. Now, Ashley is going to meet Billy's dad, whose name is also Billy. And I'm not going to lie, this dude's energy was all the way up. Just make sure y'all keep the captions on, because they're telling Billy's dad about their connection, how they had some ups and downs, how it hasn't always been rainbows and fairies. This dude's like, you had some wee bits of niggles, have you? If y'all don't think I'm not going to be describing every fight I ever get into for the rest of my life as some wee bits and niggles, y'all don't know me. Wee bits and niggles sounds like small black children. Don't ever repeat that. Okay, let me get focused here. The point is, the meeting goes quite well. Billy's dad is very nice, but he does bring up cabin crew gate because he's like, look, do you know what the last thing this nigga told me is? They're like, you told me that everything's going to be fine on this show as long as I don't meet someone that's cabin crew. Ashley's like, the fuck? You really serious about this? Whatever. All right, look alive because we got action here. This is going to be the reunion of the Pod Squad. Everybody about to pull up in that thing. Before the Pod Squad pulls up, got a couple scenes with the regular cast. Starting with Kieran and Javin having a one-on-one. Javin asks Kieran, like, do you think you have to be in love to get married? Kieran's like, the fuck? Yeah, I think you do. He's like, what if you could see yourself spending a life with someone, but you're not in love with them? Kieran's like, well, you bitch ass nigga, I would argue that if you could spend your life with someone, you probably love them. Anyway, Katisha's fuckboy senses probably started to tingle because she pulls up. She's like, what are you guys talking about? Kieran's like, oh, nothing. Just say he doesn't love you. Just kidding. Okay, now the Pod Squad is beginning to show up. Starting with Patrick, who pulls up looking like the genie in the Tubi version of Aladdin. Of course, right after him, they bring in Anu, talking about some oi oi savaloy. I don't know, something British about sausage. She comes in and says what's up to the whole crew, then curves Patrick on the hug. Oh my golly Wally. Goes on to describe him as underwhelming. She tells the girls that Patrick blindsided her because of his spine. Shut up. Don't even. We got to get through this. Anyway, she tells the girls that Patrick blindsided her because of his spinal rectum. And this is going to be the best photo that I capture all week because these girls know Anu is an idiot. All right, then some more of the crew starts pulling up. We got Charlie. We got Yolanda. Damola pulls up. He immediately sits down with Javin to have a talk. And I don't know what got into Damola. He's like, you still with that bitch? Still with that trifling ass bitch? Listen, he obviously didn't say that. No, but he did. He had a little extra spice in him because he's like, listen, bro, if she could play me, don't you think she could play you? Javin's like, yeah, you right. All Javin needs is a little ammo so he can feel good about doing whatever fuck shit he's about to do. You know? Katisha's looking around like, please, somebody stop this. Then Sophie pulls up, and unfortunately, she does have that shit on. Good Lord. Also, when Javin stares at Kieran, watching Sophie come in, that is literally me. So I'm going to need you to relax, Javin. This doesn't change anything. Then Sophie tries to shade Kieran for his outfit to his fiance, and we got an oh my golly wally moment loading, and I'm going to show that shit, but good on freaking Meg for not falling for that trap. You know how easy it is to just jump into some groupthink when someone's getting made fun of, even if it's your friend. Like, it would have been so easy for her to be like, oh, girl, you know he just wears what he wants, whatever. No. She's like, oh, no, I quite like it. Good for you, man. Get Sophie the fuck out of here. Look at this laugh. She's not crazy.
I love it. Oh, gee. Yeah. I love it.
Jesus Christ.
Then we got the infamous Anu and Patrick chat. She's like, well, it would have been nice if you had contacted me after the experiment. You robbed me of this experience. Why did you tell me I brought you joy and that your parents would love me? You lied. He's like, I didn't lie. You did bring me joy, and my parents would like you. This is when she goes into that stupid You're a Liar song. Ugh. And honestly, he's probably thinking like, yeah, my parents would actually fucking hate you. So maybe you're right. Sorova looked like the type of person who won't ever really get to see no tea. She's looking like, God damn, she's going in. But now Anna's just looking around for shit to start. She's like, your headscarf doesn't match your outfit. Why would you even wear a headscarf anyway? He's like, I thought it'd be a good look. She's like, it doesn't look good. Honestly, Anu, yes, Patrick does dress terrible, but the headscarf actually matches, and you look crazy for trying to make fun of his outfit just because he didn't propose to you. Like, can you imagine? Anu is out here complaining that Patrick blindsided her, yet the first thing you did at the mixer is go up to your friend's fiance, Javin, and ask him why I didn't date more in the pods. You a girl's girl? Anyway, then Kieran tells Meg, I'm not going to like this, but I think I have to go talk to Sophie. Kieran pulls up on Sophie at the bar. He's like, hey. She's like, hey. Thanks her for being a part of the experience with him. Wishes he handled the whole gift thing better, which, I don't know, what are you going to do? Not give a gift? The point is, that conversation goes fine. I don't know if Sophie even said anything, but he comes back to Meg. He's like, all is well. She seemed very pleasant, and I got pod Sophie. Ashley's like, uh-oh. Well, as much as it pains me to miss this tea, I'm going to give you guys a second alone. But look at her. She's still tapped in, though. Meg is like, nigga, did you have an awesome time
Did you drink awesome shooters and listen to awesome music? Listen, you moron. I'm telling you, she's a mean girl. She's a bitch. Meg's just a little frustrated that Kieran won't listen when they try to tell him, look, your girl's a bitch. I don't know how else to put it, but we was in WQ with her every day. You had a couple pod dates. Of course, you're going to get the best version of her. Meg just trying to protect this dude, man. That's why she real. Anyway, they work it out. They all good. They always going to work it out. Like, these are my people. But then watch this. Out of nowhere, Javin pulls Sophie for a chat. Oh, please tell me what you could possibly want to talk to this girl about. He's like, should we sit over here? Should we go back to my place? She's like, I cannot sit down in this dress. He's like, why not? He obviously knows why not, but he's so horny that he has to hear it. She's like, well, I could sit down if everyone wants to see my vagina. He's like, listen, let's move on. She asks him, are you happy? Do you think you made the right decision? He's like, I'm always happy. She's like, nigga, well. She's like, bro, you didn't answer my question. He's like, yeah, we had some obstacles. He asked her, so who you dating right now? She's like, no one. He's like, word? I don't think we're done with this conversation. We got a lot more to we got a lot more to unpack. You don't live far from here, do you? She's like, well, I just live 5 minutes up the road. Why do you ask? Javin, what are you even doing? You're in public. Your fiance is just a little bit further away than social distancing. Anyway, then we get the 1 hour later clip, which you already know is going to be some spice. We're at home with Javin and Katisha. This dude probably pissed off that he got to eat with this girl. She's like, did you have a nice time tonight? He's like, yeah, it was all right. How was your conversation with Sophie? It was interesting. It was very interesting. She had some good banter and some fat titties. He says it was also good talking to Damola. This is what we call a classic redirection here. Let's focus up. Lucky for us, she doesn't fall for it. She's like, nigga, I'm going to sleep. Good night. He calls the boys and finds out where they at because he's trying to pull up for the afters. Walks into the room. He's like, you staying in? She's like, yeah, all right, I'm out. You staying in is a lot different than, hey, I'm going out. Do you want to come with me? But you know that. So, boom, episode 8. And this one got to be a shout out to Craig David because it's called Walking Away. Very cute Billy cabin crew scene here. See, Billy is not that bad. Then we got this Jed 40-year-old version shaving thing. Nice. But let's get serious because then we go to Javin and Katisha the next day after this dude left his crying fiance in bed to go to the turnout. She's like, how was last night? Who was all there? He's like, everyone was there. Anu, Yolanda, Sophie. She's like, do you think you could see that I was upset last night? He's like, not really. If you were, should have said something. It goes back to how you communicate versus how I communicate. She's like, look, bro, not only did I not want you to smash Sophie's no underwear wearing ass, I also just didn't want you hungover meeting my family. He's like, do I look hungover? She's like, no, bro, but I wouldn't want to meet your family hungover, so I would have preferred you were just home with me, getting rested. He's like, but do I look hungover? She's like, just get ready. Over with Kieran and Meg, they doing their own debrief the night before. Megan's like, I did not like how Javin was moving last night. Very surprising that he came without Katisha. Kieran's like, yeah, that was a little strange. Megan says he was flirting with all the girls from the pods, and he took one of them into a photo booth. Megan feels like she has to tell Katisha. It's girl code. All right, we'll be back to that, obviously. Now we're going with Ashley meeting Billy's mom and his sister. This whole thing was pretty much standard meet and greet. How's the experiment? Let me see the ring. What do you guys connect on? What do you do for work? Just, well, I'm cabin crew. Get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. And speaking of what even is this, now Javin is going to meet Katisha's family, her mom and her siblings. And this whole thing was already weird. Her mom asked Javin, so how long you been looking for a wife? Javin's like, bitch, did I say I was looking for a... He obviously didn't say that, but he was thinking it. Katisha's mom, to the naked eye, is going to come off a little clueless that she can't see through this empty relationship. But I think she can see it. She tells him, look, bro, all I can say is I expect my daughter to be treated how my man treats me. Javin's like, how's that nigga treat you? Like a queen. Javin looks Katisha's mom directly in the eyes and he's like, how about no? Okay, now this is a critical scene here. We're with Sarover and Cal. Cal is about to meet Sarover's mom and sister. She's trying to prep this dude. Sarover's like, look, nigga, none of those tight ass pants. My mom does not play that shit, bro. Cal's trying to tell her, look, if we can get past the pods, we can get past anything. Brother, this is 1,000% harder than the pods. What are you talking about? The pods is the easy part. Listen, this part is so crazy. I had to pause this and rewind this so many times. Cal and Sarover pull up on her mom and her sister. Her mom is so damn regal. Boy, when I tell you she riz me up, I'm going to try to say the things how her mom was saying it. Don't make me laugh. Yes, hello, Cal. It's lovely to meet you. Now, what was so unique about my daughter that made you choose her? Sarover's looking over like, yes, thank God she started with a little softball, something light to just knock it out the park so then we could get into the heavy stuff. Cal's like, a couple things, actually. Sarover's mom's like, yes, that'd be quite lovely to hear. Like, it was the most respectful, spit it out nigga I ever heard in my life. It was at this moment that Sarover's sister found out that this was actually love on the spectrum. Cal got the absolute fucking nerve to tell this goddess that what he likes about her daughter is the fact that she's a Southern girl and he likes that posh accent. Sarover's looking over like, oh, this nigga tweaking. This is for sure a oh my golly. This whole scene is a oh my golly wally moment. It's so crazy. Y'all didn't think this was crazy? He's like, we both into fitness, isn't it? Cal knows. He's like, damn, I'm getting cooked. Sarover's mom's like, yes, but marriage. Are you ready? This nigga Cal says, I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. He's like, I want a family. I want kids with your daughter, which by the way, you did that. You good job making her. Good job. You and her husband was fucking at the right time to make a perfect daughter. I can say all this stuff, but I know y'all don't really understand all the way. Like, I'm going to show this clip because anyone with a family knows that these three just had a full conversation without saying one word. Look at this. This was by far the cringiest parent meetup I don't ever seen. And even cringier than, remember there was one, y'all know better than me, but like there was one where the mom and the brother was so damn tough on the dude coming to meet his fiance's parents. I don't know if that was Ollie and the other girl. It's cringier than that. I mean, also Bobby's mom last year was funny, but that wasn't Bobby's fault. Like, Sarover literally told this dude before, we have to nail this. This dude is fumbling nonstop. Sarover's mom looking like Annie from Pakistan. Listen, later in the dinner, Sarover tells her mom, look, enough with all the messages. Have I ever led you to believe that I'm going to make a decision that you can't be proud of? She's like, no, you haven't. Then somehow, some way, Cal recovers from his stroke, strings together 2 or 3 coherent sentences, and her mom is convinced that this is real love and that they're going to last. Puts her hands out and says, you have my blessing. You two are a strong couple. What? If this wasn't the epitome of, they had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. This dude Cal had the nerve to be like, I don't know what you were so worried about. Nigga, we seen why I was worried. You pulled out a miracle, okay? Nothing short of a miracle. Okay, now to Barda and Jed. She's seeing his house in Essex. I got these at about an 8.3. Barda is also going to be meeting his parents. And these people seem quite nice. His dad really just out there chilling. It's really his mom that has all the questions. Like, are you guys sure about this? It's really soon. Oh. No, it is. Even his dad is like, yeah, I'm just, as long as you're happy, I'm happy, bro. You know, she be tripping. His mom just wants to make sure they're not caught up in the honeymoon phase, as any responsible mom would. Okay, now we got to get serious again. This is the Katisha and Megan debrief. Megan been waiting to snitch on Javin. So this is it. This is what happened. Megan's like, how did you feel about Javin going out last night without you? Yeah, it was kind of annoying. I thought he was going to be a little sleepy talking to my family, but he said it was fine. Megan's like, yeah, well, I wanted to talk to you. Freaking Katisha's like, goddamn. Megan's like, look, bro, when he got to that party, he went straight to Sophie, and they ended up in the photo booth. Katisha's like, fuck off. Then he started talking to Yolanda. What the fuck? Then he was talking to Anu. What the fuck? But that's not it. What the fuck? He said, Yolanda makes me happy, Anu makes me happy, and Katisha makes me happy. What the fuck? This girl, Katisha, goes back to the apartment, starts packing her shit up to go home. Javin comes in, he's like, what's going on here? She's like, why didn't you tell me you was hanging out with Sophie and Yolanda last night? He's like, what? I did tell you that. She's like, and what about his photo book? He's like, huh? She's like, what about the photo book? He's like, it was giving the look all bad and bougie. The look all bad and bougie. Listen, I'm just a silly American, okay? Javin's like, oh, the photo booth. Got it. Yeah, that photo booth was off. Javin, that's less helpful than you think it is. Look, Katisha wants to give Javin the benefit of the doubt, but she also knows that Megan has no reason to lie. But then we get another, oh my golly wally moment of the episode. The next scene. Just when you thought Katisha was going to go Katisha on us, just when you thought, she's writing this dude a goodbye letter with the freaking ring next to that thing. Here go the note. It says, I truly wanted this to work. We are obviously more than our mistakes, but I can't marry potential. I'm sorry. All the best. You bitch ass nigga. Okay, that last part, I don't know if your Netflix fully showed the screen, but it was just because I'm a journalist. They give me the full look at the letter. That's why it was in there. She says she's happy she found out now rather than a year down the line. And that's honestly gospel to hear. I love to hear that, Katisha. We doubted you and you came through. Thank you. And honestly, not that I'm like, oh, go get Demola now. Like, it's okay to not like Demola. Everybody don't gotta like a Demola. It's okay that that's not your type either. My problem with you was that you was acting like Javin was giving you something that you actually liked. All you knew was that he's an athlete and that's your normal type. So I'm not even mad that you didn't choose Demola. I think obviously it would have worked out a lot better based on what I've seen now. But I'm not going to drag you for that continuously. I'm just going to drag you for even picking Javin. It's one thing to let the nice guy go. But usually when assholes win, it's just because they're hot. But it's fucking Love is Blind. You can't see anything. Ugh. You know? Anyway, then Javin comes home, reads the note, rips it up, and throws it in the trash. Should have recycled that. He says he's pissed off that she believes Megan over him, which, duh. He calls up Patrick on FaceTime. He's like, hey, bruv, can I trouble you for a quick spleen check? He's like, you on Netflix right now, which is the bro code equivalent to you on speaker. He's like, bro, Meg says I spent the whole time at that party with Sophie and Yolanda. Patrick's like, what? You were with us the whole entire time. Just men. You shouldn't be with someone that has low vibration. And listen, all we could do as viewers of the show is pray that they got video footage of the club at the reunion. Okay, last two scenes of the episode. The first one were with Billy and Ashley in Ireland. They seem to be having a good ass time. It's cold as fuck out there. Ashley's like, I don't care about the weather. I'm just happy to be here with you. She's like, so how are we feeling? Like, talk to me. Billy's like, yeah, right now I'm pretty much 50-50. Ashley's like, the fuck? She's like, whoa, yeah, that's kind of a stomach punch. And honestly, Ashley is nosy as fuck, but she's just so nice. And she's not even like ditzy nice. Like, she stands up for herself. She's clear with what she wants. And you just hate to see her go through this. Billy's like, I just want to make sure that 6 months down the line, our jobs don't get in the way of our connection. She's like, didn't we sort this out in the pods? He goes, no, we didn't. Well, you actually told her that you did, clown. She's like, it's just hard hearing a no from me. He's like, what do you mean? It could be a no from you too. How do you know? She's like, Billy, it's a yes for me. I want to do this with you. So that level of clear and concise communication should be studied by students at colleges and universities all over the world. All right, we end the episode with Javin, Megan, and Kieran. Javin calls these two over really for the theatrics. You don't like the girl anyway. You're happy that you got a free pass. You didn't have to make the hard decision. She did it for you. You call these people over for what? To clear your name? The show's on TV. Anyway, he tells them, thank you for coming. Megan, you said that you saw me all night with Sophie and Yolanda and Anu. She's like, bruv, every time I looked over, you was with one of them. So that's all I saw. He's like, so you didn't see me talking to Patrick and Demola? She's like, no. He's like, I was at that party for 2 to 3 hours. I talked to Yolanda for 15 minutes. She's like, look, you idiot. I'm not watching you the whole night. I'm trying to have my own turn up. I'm just telling you, when I looked over, you was talking to these girls. I'm not claiming to have seen you for 3 hours straight. And I didn't tell Katisha that I saw you for 3 hours straight. I just said that when I saw you talking to these girls, it looked like you was getting a little flirty and a little canoodly. Is that okay, you bitch ass nigga? She's like, then you follow Sophie into that photo booth and close the curtain. He goes, no. There was no curtain in that. It was just open. It couldn't be closed. She's like, yes, the fuck there was a curtain. He's like, no, there wasn't no curtain. Even freaking Kieran's like, bruv, you're my boy, but there was a fucking curtain there. Meg's like, why would you even have to talk to her in there? That's just where she was. We didn't want to be arguing in front of everyone else, so you might as well just go into the photo booth. Why are y'all even arguing in the first fucking place? That's my question. What do you mean arguing? Then Megan got the Hadouken right here ready to go. She's like, then you said Sophie's just someone you like to fucking leave her. Jesus Christ. He's like, I never said that. She's like, yes, you did, mate. Yes, you fucking did. Megan's getting worked up. She's like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. She's like, see you never, you fucking prick. Meg starts crying. Javin tells Kieran, look, man, I ain't mean to make your missus cry, but she is lying. Kieran's like, look, bro, I respect bro code and all that, but you are tweaking. I mean, he didn't say that, but you know. Kieran goes to comfort his girl like a real one would. He's in a tough spot. That's his boy. That's his girl. It's a tough spot. I think he handled it pretty well as could be expected. After all this, Javin tells us, yeah, I guess if I could do something different, I should have just stayed home that night, but how could I smash Sophie from my own house? And boom, that's episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good Lord. Honestly, y'all didn't think Cal meeting Sorova's mom was fucking nuts? How did he get out of that? Anyway, good riddance for Katisha. Where will she go now? That reunion is going to be a nice level of spice. And Demola got that I told you starter pack. So everybody wins. Okay, so next week, they will be releasing episodes 9 and 10. They are not sending them early to journalists. So that video will come out a little later than even this one is coming out. So look for that one. I don't know, at the Friday, if I'm lucky. So just... was it setting expectations? Oh, let me do my ending thing. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button in the comments. Y'all already know what to do. Y'all already know what to do. So go ahead and do that. Let's talk about Katisha. Let's talk about Javin. Let's talk about Billy. Let's talk about Ashley. And why would he be arguing with Sophie? Is that some British slang for like fingering? Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. Okay, do you guys like Cheetos Crunchies or Cheetos Puffs better? Because they're both fire, but I feel like you see the Crunchies more often. We're not talking about Flaming Hot, just the regular standards. Because I feel like people don't be getting the Puffs. But is it because they're inferior or just harder to find? You know what I mean? What would Billy think of me? Over to Javen and... I want to keep calling her Go Christina. Over to Javen and Katisha. She's telling him about how Over to Javen and Christina. Wow. Over to Javin and what the fuck?